Hey guys, and welcome to my movie news segment that I try to do once a week on Saturdays here. And, basically where I go over some of the news topics in the world of movies, TV, a little bit of TV, and who knows. And I try to give you my thoughts on it. So I'm apologizing in advance for my voice if it sounds like it's a little messed up at times. My allergies are kicking in. Right now it's kind of late when I'm doing this because I want to get it up on Saturday morning for you guys early, and I apologize for my phone if it decides that it's going to beep. And if you hear squeaking noise, that's my cat playing with a mouse toy, or me. You decide. Anyway, let's go ahead and start off with the weekend box office. So coming in at number 1, we had Deadpool with 31.5 million. In its opening weekend at number 2, Gods of Egypt came in, and I can't remind, 14 million, which is, I know it's number 2, but we're going to get into that in a minute. Kung Fu Panda 3 stayed in the top 5, earning 9 million. I can't even read my own writing. The movie Risen came in at number 4 with 7 million, and rounding out the top 5 was Eddie the Eagle with 6.3 million. Now 999 on its opening weekend came in with 6.1 million in 6th place. So yeah, 999 didn't do that great, especially from what I was thinking. I was thinking it was going to do much better, or maybe I was just hoping it would do much better. Now, I obviously didn't contribute to that, so I didn't see the movie, but it is how it is. But anyway, going back into it, Deadpool obviously still doing well. Kung Fu Panda 3 doing really well. Risen earning another 7 million. That's not too bad. Eddie the Eagle at 6.3 probably, and 999 obviously a little disappointing for them, I think. But the main thing is Gods of Egypt with 14 million. Even though it's number 2, that is a horrible number. I forget how much the budget was. I think it was like a little over 200 million to make it. So getting 14 million on opening weekend, and then of course all the critical reception from it has been terrible. So it's not looking good for that. It's not looking good for that at all. But that's pretty much all there is to say about it. A few disappointments here or there. Like I said, obviously because there's no animated movie to go up against it until, of course, this coming up weekend, Kung Fu Panda 3 remains in the top 5. And Deadpool, nice to see it's doing well. And there went my phone. So if you heard that, yeah, that might happen throughout. But anyway, that'll wrap that up. On to the time for the box office predictions. All right, so coming out this week, we have Disney's new movie Zootopia, which I'm really looking forward to. I've already heard some good things about it. You have London Has Fallen, the sequel to Olympus Has Fallen, which a lot of people liked. They thought it was a fun movie. I actually haven't seen it yet. And then you have Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, starring Tina Fey and Margot Robbie. Again, I've seen a little bit for it, so I know that there's some interest in it. But you also got The Other Side of the Door, which stars Sarah Wayne Callies. Is that how you say it? That might be how you say her name. But anyway, she was from The Walking Dead. Yeah. So she played Lori. A lot of fans of her character, I'm sure. But anyway, so another horror movie and another Walking Dead actress showing up in the horror movie, which is kind of interesting in its own right. But so going into the top 5 here, I'm gonna say Zootopia will be a number one. I think it's gonna open really well. Heard a lot of good things about it, and it's a new animated movie, so you get the draw of families and kids and everything, and just people like me who tend to like Disney movies. So I think it's gonna do number one. All right, at number two, I'm actually gonna go London Has Fallen. I'm not sure how well it'll do, but Olympus Has Fallen did well enough, and I think there is some interest in it, and seems like it's going to be a fun action movie, so I'm going to go ahead and give that number two. At number three, I'm going to go Deadpool. I think it's going to remain up in the higher, well, I guess the middle range of it, but I think Deadpool will definitely be number three and continue to do well as it has been. Number four, I'm going to go with Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, just because it seems to be an interesting movie. You know, it's based off of a Kim Barker book. Again, Tina Fey, who she does pretty well with her movies, and then Margot Robbie is definitely a hot actress on the scene here in Hollywood, and I mean that in more ways than one. But anyway, yeah, I think it'll probably do good. Now, the question is for number five, what do I think? It's really hard for me to go ahead and give it to The Other Side of the Door, but it is new. The other stuff has been out for a couple weeks now, for the most part, or it bombed. So it's either going to be The Other Side of the Door or Eddie the Eagle. And I'm going to say The Other Side of the Door is going to squeak in there. Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and stick with that. But, you know, my record's been really good so far, so I'm probably wrong. But who knows? Maybe this will be the week that I finally get it right. I don't know. I'm going to cross my fingers. All right, so as we near the Batman v Superman premiere, there's a lot of stuff coming out about it. You know, we talked about the runtime. I don't know if we talked about this or not. I can't remember. But there is a $100 pass that you can buy that allows you to see the film once a day. Doesn't matter what format you see it in, but you are allowed to see it. Like I said, $100 pass. I won't be partaking in that, and I'm really looking forward to this movie. So, but you know, it's out there for people. Anyway, so Anthony Brzezinska, I probably said that wrong, but anyway, he's an Entertainment Weekly writer. He was able to get an early look at the film, and he shared some of his thoughts of the movie on Twitter. And here's what he had to say. He said, number one, if you loved Man of Steel, you'll love BVS. Seems good for me. Number two, if you loved Man of Steel but not the end, BVS may redeem that. Number three, if you hated Man of Steel and the whole grim/dark thing, okay, probably not for you. Number four, Wonder Woman is fearsome. Also. Number five, there's a moment between Batman and Superman that will make even the most cynical eye tear up a little. I have no idea what that could be. And number six, fans will have a lot to discuss and fight over. And he went on to say, I gotta go right, but last things I'll say about seeing #Batman v Superman. Personally, I was happy. All right, so yeah, I'm really curious about number five and number six, for sure. But I did love Man of Steel. I've said that a few times. I actually haven't put up an official review of it. But what I will be doing is a versus match between Batman Begins and Man of Steel. It was recommended to me by Paul Reviews. By the way, go check him out. And I put it off for a long time because I knew this was coming up, obviously, and I wanted to do it within the week of its release. So that's what I'll be doing when I'll be doing that. But in any case, yeah, I don't know the guy, so it doesn't get me so excited, but it's good to hear positive stuff about the film. So, you know, for that reason, I am kind of, it is like, oh, cool. You know, I appreciate that. Appreciate hearing that. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool. Anyway, another thing with Batman v Superman is the pre-ticket sales are doing, really well. Early tracking from Variety suggests that it could have an opening weekend of at least 120 million, but could climb as high as 140 million for Easter weekend. And I've seen estimates out there that go as high as 200 and 250. So that's actually pretty good. I'm not sure if they'll be impressed by it. You had a Furious 7 opening at 147 million, so obviously from that perspective, it could be seen as bad. But there's not a lot of films that actually have had a really high opening weekend like that. And I think it's going to be in the higher end of things, honestly. I think there's enough hype. Again, the pre-ticket sales are like going through the roof now. Like, people are so buying this, kind of like they were with The Force Awakens. So that's definitely really interesting. I don't know. I think it seems more positive than negative. So at least there's that. Another thing is talking about the R-rated release of the video. They were talking, about what it was going to have. Well, not only is it going to be R-rated, but it's going to be basically a director's cut of the film, because in order, like, they had a 3-hour movie, and so they had to cut it down to what we get now, which is like a 2-hour, 22-minute film. So you're going to have quite a bit of time that you can add in, which is interesting. Also, Gina Malone was cut from the theatrical version, and if you know anything about her, she got brought up a while back. She was cast in it, and a lot of people were speculating, thinking that she may be Robin, or she may be Batgirl, or someone of that. But what Snyder did say is that I think we should keep it private, but it's nothing that's been talked about. She's definitely not Robin or Batgirl. I'm happy to say that. So that's interesting to see what she's going to be, what role she's going to play. Obviously, it was something that they could take out and not really take away from the film. So there's that. And that says that it's not so relevant to the story as a whole, but at the same time, I would be interested in seeing that. And I really like director's cuts when they're adding stuff, when they're actually adding content, not like I think it was a Furious 7 one, which added like 4 minutes. I think maybe not even that. But anyway, that's interesting. And he also went on to say that there's a giant tease for Justice League in the extended cut, which I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I don't understand why there wouldn't just be a giant tease in Batman v Superman. That's kind of Dawn of Justice is what it's doing. But in any case, and then you have Ben Affleck supporting the PG-13 rating, because he's saying it's something that can be accessible from teens and kids and everyone, which works just fine. But also having the R-rated option for Blu-ray is, it's also a good idea. So you have that. But anyway, so yeah, quite a bit. I'm sure there's something else, but I'm not going to be watching the clips, so I'm not going to comment on that. I just want to see the film. It's coming out in just a few weeks now. I'm super hyped about it. I don't want anything else spoiled from me as far as the actual content of the film goes. So, but anyway, those are some of the news. Hopefully I got everything. If I didn't, go ahead and let me know in the comments what I missed, and we can discuss it. Well, in the world of Harry Potter, we have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is coming out this November, and apparently announced by J.K. Rowling that this film is not just going to be one film, but a trilogy of films. Surprise! Yeah. David Yates is directing the first feature that's set 70 years before Harry Potter and Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So I mean, you have the first one coming out November 18th. The others will be following in 2018 and 2020. Yeah. I mean, realistically, it doesn't surprise me at all. Of course, she's going to want to do it. It's making her money. It's something that I'm sure fans would want to see because you get back into that world, and it's a very popular world. I personally really liked the Harry Potter movies. Here's the thing, though. There's very limited source material for this, right? You have one book, not even a big book. But Rowling is actually writing the screenplays for him. So she's essentially she took the book, she incorporated a little bit of what the book had, of what the book was supposed to have or whatever. But now she's really filling out this world and expanding upon it and everything. So is it a cash grab? Absolutely, you bet your ass it's a cash grab. But at the same time, it really kind of works for me, I think, because she's a good writer. Like I mean, purely based off the Harry Potter series, but that's, again, you're talking 7 books. I enjoyed all 7 books, and I don't mind the idea of revisiting this world and seeing, new characters that don't tie in. They don't have to tie in. And for those of you talking about, well, yeah, but it's so many, but we don't know if that's a bad thing or not. I gotta wait until I see the movie to see if I'll be like, yeah, I want to see 2 more films of this, or no, it doesn't really keep my interest. It could just be 2. So until I see the films, it's kind of hard for me to say. But at the moment, I'm hesitantly happy for it. But all the same, I do enjoy hearing this news. We talked about Batman versus Superman earlier, so let's go ahead and do a little talk about Suicide Squad. Apparently, there's already a second one in the works. This is because Warner Brothers are very happy with what they've seen so far. Variety's Justin Kroll tweeted out the following, saying, "Insiders say early footage has WB excited about Squad so much so that they're beginning to develop a sequel even though one isn't dated. Been hearing for a while the studio wants the sequel set up as quickly as possible and that they also want all players back, including Air. And that he's also hearing the studio is already looking for a writer since Air will be busy with Bright, and we'll get him what Bright is in a minute." But anyway, so yeah, apparently they are. They're really excited in this film and what this film could be, how much of a hit it could be. I guess they do like what they see, which is cool. And actually, as a side thing, Ben Affleck had talked about the movie too. He discussed it and he said it was really, really cool. Which I guess, it's fine. He's in the movie. He's obviously part of the DC universe as Batman, so of course he's going to endorse it. But I don't know. You take with it what you will. But it is kind of cool to note that they are going to go ahead, move forward. They're already announcing a sequel, and we haven't even seen the movie yet. So I at least think it's interesting. I mentioned Bright just a minute ago, and we're talking about Suicide Squad 2. David Ayer, apparently, he and Will Smith and Joel Edgerton are set to, David Ayer is set to direct, and Will Smith and Joel Edgerton are set to co-star in the film called Bright, which was written by screenwriter Max Landis, who wrote American Ultra and Chronicle and Victor Frankenstein, which I've yet to see. I actually forgot about that movie, so I'm going to have to watch this. This is all according to Deadline. There are apparently no plot details to be revealed at this time, except that it's a contemporary cop thriller, but with fantastical elements, whatever that means. So, yeah, that's apparently what's happening. That's what Ayer's doing after Suicide Squad. I can't really say too much at this time. I mean, apparently he likes working with Will Smith, which is cool. Um, that's cool, but I I'm curious about it. I actually Max Landis, like, again, haven't seen Victor Frankenstein, but I've seen Chronicle. I enjoyed Chronicle quite a bit, and I enjoyed American Ultra. So he has kind of a fun style, but he can have really serious tones to it. But at least from Ultra, he knows how to really use a fun style to it, and a cop thriller with fantastical elements seems like more of a fun, crazy style. So I don't know. I mean, seeing this movie with monsters, dragons, who knows? I don't. It seems like it'll be interesting. I'm very curious in it, and it certainly seems like you have a good team to do it. So at least for that reason alone, I'm curious as to how it's going to turn out. This news won't really take that long, but according to the Los Angeles Times reporter Daniel Miller, Disney CEO Bob Iger responded to a shareholder comment about Deadpool. That being that because Deadpool is the highest grossing installment of X-Men films, and it has an R rating and everything, about superhero movies now having an R rating because of the success it had, his comment was, "We don't have any plans to make R-rated Marvel movies." This can kind of be a disappointment. In case you don't know, they have the rights to Blade, Ghost Rider, and of course Punisher, who shows up in the Daredevil show. So they certainly have the option out there to do an R-rated film just based off of those characters and not other characters that I'm sure you could do. But I mean, what can you say? They're not gonna join that bandwagon like I think the Wolverine film is definitely gonna go for, and obviously the Batman v Superman, they have an R rating, at least with the Blu-ray release. So, but yeah, they're just not really interested in it, and that's cool. I mean, that's fine. It makes sense. They have a brand that's selling well with PG-13. It's just a little disappointing when you realize some of the characters they have, some of the potential that's there, and I don't know, it leaves me kind of wishing that they would change their minds at least a little bit. Alright, again, this one is going to be a little short. Basically, you had, what is his name, Liev Schreiber, who was in the first, the Origin, X-Men Origins Wolverine movie, right, where he played Sabretooth. He was asked by MTV News about, the third movie or what have you, and he said, "We talked about it. I don't know. He mentioned it to me, the Old Man Logan story. That's appealing. It's something that I can do, old being the operative word." So he's not saying that he's done it. He's not saying that he's going to do it, but he's not saying that he isn't going to do it, just that there's been talks about it. The whole reason why I'm bringing this up is because that's actually that's really interesting, and they can certainly do it. The thing is, obviously, he's known for X-Men Origins Wolverine. That movie did not meet very good critical response, obviously, and they pulled Ryan Reynolds from that film and gave him his own Deadpool movie that has no basis on that film. And it seems like they don't, like, the way that film worked is it's own standalone thing off in the corner, under the table, covered in dust. Nobody talks about it. Nobody acknowledges that it's there, but it's over there somewhere. So, but again, having Ryan Reynolds, be Deadpool twice now in two different films and everything, and just having a completely different thing. If they liked Liev, if they liked his portrayal, and I kind of did, I liked it more than the first guy. But if they liked Sabretooth, they might bring him into the third film. And if the third film is going to be rated R too, then you have a lot of not holding back in certain aspects of the movie, to be sure. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if he's going, I don't know if this is going to happen or not. Is it interesting? Sure. Would I want to see it? Yeah, I could see it. Why not? I would give it a chance. And some people like Origins. So, and again, this is one of the better aspects of it. So it would be interesting. And there's such big rivals throughout the comics, throughout the shows, to see that in movie form, see it done right, for me at least, I'd appreciate it. If there is anybody out there who is a fan of Venom, apparently Venom is still going to be getting his own movie, and I would guess trilogy. For those of you who don't remember, this was originally an idea that came about when Sony had big plans on expanding the Spider-Man universe out with Spider-Man. You had Amazing Spider-Man 3, Sinister 6, Venom, Aunt May. Yes, there was an Aunt May movie in the works. Crazy. Just I don't even get it. But anyway, that all went south pretty fast. With Amazing Spider-Man 2, things went haywire, deals were struck, what have you. Obviously, we're getting Spider-Man and Captain America Civil War, and Venom got sidelined. Apparently not forever, as one would have thought. So Sony is still planning on bringing in a Venom movie to be directed by Dante Harper. This is from the Hollywood Reporter, and revolving around the villain. However, Venom will be unrelated to the upcoming standalone Spider-Man film, which is set to come out in July of 2017, and apparently unconnected to the Marvel Universe. So, yeah. First, if this movie's good. That's a big if. If it's good, I would be so happy, because I am a huge fan of Venom. He's had various incarnations, honestly, and he's had a lot of different aspects to his character in the comics and in the 90s show and what have you. But so it would be really cool. The interesting thing here is that they're saying that it's unrelated to the film and the Marvel Universe as a whole, so I'm guessing it won't have Spider-Man in it. That's odd to me. Why would you not have Spider-Man in it? Like, these two are such huge rivals and, in a way, mirrors of each other, and I don't know. That seems a bit odd. But, hey, it is what it is. They're probably trying to separate it because they were a little worried with how Spider-Man, how everything went down with Spider-Man, so they're trying to ease their way into it, and maybe things will change once reception has gone through about the new film and his role in Civil War. Maybe they'll warm up to the idea. I don't know. Either way it goes, I really hope that we get a good Venom movie. That would be awesome. This for me is a bit crazy. A while back I heard I thought it was a rumor. Apparently it was true that 22 Jump Street and Men in Black were going to be having a crossover. And I didn't get it. I didn't buy into it. I thought this is just completely nuts. And I thought they stopped with that. But apparently they didn't. So, even though there's been nothing, up to this point, apparently from Variety, they're saying that the Muppets director, James Bobbin, is in early talks to helm this new movie, which will have Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum, but will not have Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. So it's, I guess, implied that it's either going to take place with just different characters within that same 3 films kind of time span, or it's going to try to serve as a reboot to Men in Black, which is probably more likely to happen. And then you have Phil Lord, Chris Miller, and Neil Moritz, who will be producing the film. So, yeah. Anyway, I can't believe this is still going. I cannot. I thought it was a joke, honestly, the first time I heard about it. I thought that, well, I mean, I get it. In a way. 22 Jump Street was big hit. 21 Jump Street was a big hit. 22 Jump Street, another big hit. And the Men in Black series for Sony did really well too. So why not combine them, I guess. I mean, they both have comedy. They got that going for them. So, in 22 Jump Street is definitely out there as far as the comedy goes and what they're willing to put in the film for comedic purposes. So, I do see it in that regard. I do understand it. But at the same time, I still don't get why. Like, it just doesn't make any real sense to me. So it's one of those things where I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I kind of get where they're coming from, in a desperate sense, but I really don't understand how they could have thought this was a good idea, but who knows? Maybe it is a good idea. I haven't seen anything for it, so I don't know. I'm just purely speculating, and it seems kind of nuts. It's time to talk a little bit of TV. And if you're a fan of Big Hero 6, guess what? There's a new series coming to Disney XD, looking at a 2017 debut, and simply titled Big Hero 6, the series. So you have Emmy Award-winning producers Mark McCorkle and Bob Schuler, creator and executive producers Kim Possible. They'll serve as the series executive producers, and they have Nick Philippi, an Emmy Award winner, who will serve as executive producer and supervising director. We have no idea if it's going to be the same cast or not. Basically, that's all we know right now, is that's what's happening. Does it surprise me? Absolutely not. What we do know is, produced by Disney Television Animation, the series picks up immediately following the events of the film and continues adventures and friendships of Hero and his compassionate, cutting-edge robot Baymax. So, Hero now faces daunting academic challenges and the social trials of being the little man on campus. Off campus, the stakes are raised for the high-tech heroes as they must protect their city from an array of scientifically enhanced villains. So, yeah. And then apparently you have Disney Channel Worldwide President and Chief Creative Officer Gary Marsh, who said, "Our colleagues at Walt Disney Animation Studios have created a brilliant new world inspired by Marvel with vivid, unique characters. We are thrilled to have the opportunity to further develop these characters into a world-class animated series full of fun, action, and the kind of endearing storytelling that only Mark, Bob, and Baymax can deliver." So basically nothing. I mean, not really saying too much. Yeah, it takes place after. Cool, right after. It's cool. That's what I kind of thought, but it's nice to have that clarified. Again, not a surprise. Like, they brought back Lion King, and they have a new Lion King series. Back in the 90s, they had Hercules, Tarzan, Aladdin, Little Mermaid. I'm blanking, but I'm sure there's others. Goofy. I don't know. There was several of them. It makes sense. This is popular. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but there is a Tangled series coming as well. So, yeah, I mean, it just makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Will I be interested in seeing it? Of course. Of course I will. I really like the movie. It could be good, but until I know more about it, until I see a trailer for it or first episode or something, it's kind of hard to get that excited. There are a few of you out there, namely Paul and the Silver Shamrock, who have talked about The Mist before, which I saw a little while back and I hadn't seen, but really liked The Mist. Well, if you really liked it, this could be good news for you. Apparently, it's getting a TV series adaptation on Spike TV. So this is really interesting. Stephen King already has stuff coming out, movie adaptations of It, which I think is going to be a 2-parter, which and apparently is more from the book. The Dark Tower, the Stand, Cujo, Revival. I'm sure there's another, like, abundance of other stuff, but there's a lot of stuff going on. So, and The Mist, the movie, came out in 2007 and was actually a critical and financial success. So that, being that it was that, the fact that it's, becoming a TV series is, I guess, kind of cool. There's stuff in this movie for sure that could play out pretty nice as a TV program, so I can definitely see that. Anyway, so there's a statement from Spike's executive vice president, and he said, "We are thrilled to join forces with the incredible creative Christian Torp and Dimension Films to fill Stephen King's enthralling novella to a compelling series unlike anything else on television. We are excited to be in business with Spike on their first scripted production pilot and working with a very talented Christian Torp to further explore Stephen King's classic novella and bring this riveting series to television audiences." And that was from Bob Weston, co-chairman of the Westing Company. Anyway, that's about all I know on that. Again, being that's TV format, though, it could be a good thing. I definitely see the aspects of it, especially with the Mist first starting to roll in and people not knowing what's in there and the various creatures that are in there. And you might be able to flesh out some of the stuff that worked so well in the movie. On the other hand, it could just drag on like what you have with The Walking Dead, and it could be a bad thing for this movie. The movie might benefit from being, or the story rather might benefit from being a little shorter in its runtime in movie format than it would be in a TV series. I don't know. So you guys all have to tell me if you're excited about this or not. Personally, again, I thought The Mist was alright, but this really doesn't do anything for me. There were a couple of trailers that came out recently, so we're gonna go through them real quick. One was Finding Dory, which is coming out this summer. And the funny thing about this film, like about this trailer anyway, is that a lot of people were a little lukewarm to it because they thought, oh, it's basically a retrend of what we saw, right? It's basically Finding Nemo all over again, just different title. Like, I've seen this before, which I don't know. I feel like that's funny in a way, because I definitely get what they're saying. I definitely understand what they're saying. I see what they're talking about, and there's definitely aspects within this little trailer that I'm like, okay, you couldn't come up with something a little better? At the same time, whereas I fairly have that criticism for it, I think that criticism is valid. These are also from people who saw another movie recently and didn't note the similarities or didn't care about the similarities. So I feel like it's a bit contradictory to be judging this movie based off a trailer that has similarities when you saw a film that had similarities. And You didn't say anything. I don't know. That's me. But for sure, there's a lot of similarities in this little trailer. So I don't know how different it'll be. I don't know whether I'll actually care or not once I actually see the film. It's certainly not as big as some of the other ones. But yeah, definitely see where the criticism is coming from. And speaking of criticism, I'm going to jump right into the second trailer here. Ghostbusters. Yes, Ghostbusters reboot, which is happening. Trailer came out, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all. I'm just, oh man, the trailer was so bad. Look, I really don't care. It's an all-female cast. I get what you're doing. It's cool. Personally, I would have preferred a diverse cast if you're going to do it. I don't understand why it has to be purely one or purely the other. But that being said, 4 females, it's fine. You know, I was already a little on the fence because you have Melissa McCarthy, and I'm not the biggest fan of hers, but you have Kristen Wiig, who I actually like. You have 2 newcomers from SNL with Leslie Jones and Ahim Egon. And the CG doesn't look bad. I did hear that for the ghosts, they had actual people and they incorporated CG over them. So it is actual people there, which is fine. The beginning's confusing because it's talking about 30 years ago, but this is a remake, so it should have nothing to do with 30 years ago. The humor is a big miss for me. I just didn't laugh. I'm finding any of this funny. And again, it has some nods to the original, which you should have, but then it does look like it's taking the original and reincorporating it, which is the one time where I can actually say this might be okay because it is an actual remake, so it's supposed to do that, but it's not doing it that well, and that's where the problem comes in. It looks like it's trying to do it, but it's not doing it that well. Like I said, humor's not really doing anything for me. CG is fine in some aspects, a little sketchy in others. The characters themselves don't seem that interesting. This is all based off a trailer, so I'm still likely to see the movie at some point. I don't understand how you can, like, this in bit, okay? She's slapping Melissa McCarthy, slaps the spirit or whatever out of her, and then continues to slap her, and that's funny. I don't know. It's just not funny to me, and it comes out in July. Yeah. So yeah, 2 trailers that didn't really do it for me. Finding Dory works a little bit better, but you know, I'm realist. I'm gonna see both movies. That's just my thoughts. That's what I think. I wasn't a big fan, particularly of Ghostbusters. And I'm not the biggest fan of the original series either. I've seen it. I don't own it yet. It's been a while since I've seen it. So I'm not like hardcore into Ghostbusters. Although I did watch the animated series, but that's another story. So, but anyway, yeah, just let me know what y'all think, because I don't know. Could be better than I'm expecting. Alright, so for the spotlight, there's actually several films that I'm just going to bring to your attention because I have not seen them. So yeah, there's that. But I'm getting to it, damn it. Anyway, you have Creed, which recently came out, and of course, you know, Sly was up for the Oscar. He didn't win it, unfortunately, but I've heard nothing but good things about that movie. You have Room, which I've heard nothing but good things about, so I look forward to at least checking that out. You have Legend, which I thought, was that already out? Suspicious is as suspicious does. I'm still talking even though I'm recording. That ain't good. Hey, what do you know? It did come out. Amazon, you be so confusing sometimes. Anyway, yeah, Legend. Basically Tom Hardy in 2 roles as brothers. It was a true story. I heard mixed things about it, so I'm not really sure, but I will check it out. And The Night Before comedy actually came out around Christmas, I believe, so not too long ago. Heard good things about that, so I'm definitely looking forward with that, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Seth Rogen. And then, of course, you have The Danish Girl, which, again, Oscar buzz and everything. Seems like it was a good movie. I think a lot of people liked it. But I heard that Elisa Vikander stole the spotlight, if you will, from Eddie Redmayne. So, which I don't doubt at all, because she's amazing. I've said that several times. I stand by that. She is absolutely amazing. But in any case, that'll wrap up the movie news for this week. But before I go, I just wanted to say real quick. First, I'm going to say thank you to Silver Shamrock, to Paul Reviews. They gave me shout outs recently. Had a lot of nice things to say about my channel. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys that have commented on my videos. I will definitely give you shout outs in a future video that I do. And speaking of that, I have my birthday coming up. So my birthday is going to be on this coming up Thursday, which means things may be a little different as far as me doing the videos and uploading them. I'll still do 3, but I'm going to try to do a video specifically to, I don't know, to talk about perhaps some of the things that I'm going to try to do in the future, and a video specifically to do shout outs, and I'm going to run through a list of my subscribers and just give a little insight as far as what my channel is, like what I hope to do with my channel, because there's definitely stuff I want to try to do as well. And I thought this would be a good opportunity as well, if you guys want, if there's any interest in it, you may, and I'm going to put this in the other videos too, but you may, ask me a question. It's kind of a Q&A thing. I've seen other channels do it. I didn't want to do it at first because I don't think I have enough subscribers to really do it, but I do have a few of you guys, so I'm just gonna leave it out there. If you do want to know something about me, if you have a question for me, could be movie related, could be outside of that, I will do my best to answer the questions. You list as many questions as you want. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And this video will go up, it'll go up either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. It just kind of depends on how things play out. I'm going to shoot for Thursday, but try to have your questions on the videos no later than probably Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. But anyway, it's just something I want to do. I wanted to do a little video just going through my subs, telling you guys about them, some of the stuff that I've seen about them, and I don't know, as well as just answer some of your questions and give a little bit of an update of what I'm trying to do in the future. And if you have ideas, I certainly got a stack of movies here I'm going to go over as well. I bought quite a few movies really cheap, got some more coming in. Some will be coming in next week, hopefully, by the time I do the video. So I'm going to run through them and tell you, what they are. And if I've already seen them, it's cool. You can go check out my reviews. But if I haven't seen them, then, I'll definitely get to reviewing them at some point. But anyway, like I said, that's pretty much it for this week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Click that like button if you did. Share, subscribe to my channel, watch my other vids if you haven't. And for those of you that have already done so and continue to do so, thank you so much. And until next time, peace.